Good evening, it's 6:03, we have a quorum. If our committee members could call out their names for roll call, please.
Lalo Uribe.
Minidora Van Haynes,
Fred Garcia.
Joe Lopez.
Roberto Rodriguez.
thank you,
That's muy bien.
thank you, we have a quorum. And for the start of the meeting, I would like to welcome Mr. David Gonzalez, our UID superintendent. Mr. Gonzalez, you have the floor.
First, let me thank you for the work you've done in the past and the work you continue to do for UIC for our students, more than anything else. It's for the betterment of our students and our staff, so thank you on behalf of everybody. Okay?
Thank you. Our first agenda item is, well, public comments. Did anybody sign up for public comments?
I couldn't get any. But then my,
I'll check.
yeah. We're starting to change the format of our meeting, and I did want Jaime to talk about that. We're starting to meet more physically, but I think we'll always have the option, right, to Zoom if a member wants to attend. I don't,
That's
it's
correct,
kind of hard to say.
as long as a quorum is physically present.
Yeah,
That's gonna be the requirement starting September 1st.
Physically.
Physically, quorum, physically present, that'll be four of you all.
Has anyone signed in online or on Zoom?
no.
Thank you. I do notice another change, the Pledge of Allegiance. Is it, please forgive me, is it the American Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas flag, or both?
Yes, we do both. It's the, yes, we do both.
Oh, we have that.
Yes. We have both.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor this flag,
I pledge allegiance to thee,
Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Did you find out if anybody signed in for public comment?
Signed in back. Okay. You changed as a new superintendent.
No one has signed in for public comments. The first action item, discussion and possible action to recommend to the Board of Trustees approval of Amendment Number 1 to the design build contract with Linedecker Construction of Texas, Inc. for Ricardo Molina Middle School for deletion of project allowance providing for the installation of a fire protection storage tank and pump station.
Okay. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the Bond Oversight Committee, Superintendent Gonzalez, members of the audience. So we bring to the committee a recommendation this evening to obtain a credit, actually, on Ricardo Molina Middle School under the construction of that campus, which Mr. Alanis will be giving you a report later on tonight. But there was included within the contract an allowance to build, provide and install a fire protection storage tank. The purpose of that tank was that in case the City of Laredo water pressures in that area were not up to par with what is required to operate a fire sprinkler system, we would have that system already within the contract. We have received a letter and approval from the City of Laredo Fire Department that in this particular location that tank is not necessary. The City of Laredo water pressures are more than enough of what is required. We did include that because we had other locations like United South High School ninth grade campus where it was necessary. So at this time, since the project is about to be completed in a few months, we felt it was good timing to go ahead and recommend and explain to the committee about this potential credit. It's in the amount of $139,150. We do have Randy Hollis, a project architect here, if you have any more questions regarding this item. We did include on backup documentation as Exhibit A, the amendment to the contract, a change order. Of course, it's a credit change order. the guaranteed maximum price, which at this time is 21,790,896. There you go on that. So the credit would be 139,150 in that credit of fire protection. So since we are deleting it from the contract amount, because that's already like included, it's embedded in that amount. So by taking that credit, since we do not need those funds for that particular contingency allowances for that purpose, so we would obtain a credit reducing the guaranteed maximum price to 21,651,746. It does not affect, obviously, the completion, which is still December 15 at this time, December 15, 2021. So it's a credit that would reduce the contract amount, guaranteed maximum price. The next exhibit, part of the exhibit, is the actual proposal from Lion Decker Construction. And even though the allowance called for $125,000, that was just the net amount. The gross amount, when you add the contractor's 10% fee, bond cost, it really comes up to $139,150. That would be the true gross amount that we would obtain as a credit. And then the next exhibit you have there for your reference is the City of Laredo Fire Department from Fire Inspector R. Soto through the Fire Marshal's office, issuing the permit to open the school without the protection tank. Obviously, the fire system will be functional as per code. And then, there's some backup that was included on the letter from the City of Laredo Fire Department. And the last part of the exhibit is, of course, the legal document is the amendment. Number one, we have not made any amendments on this particular project. So this would be the first amendment, supplemental to the design-build contract between owner and design builder for a construction of middle school number 11, currently now named officially as Ricardo Molina Middle School. And I just explained the reason for this amendment. I don't know if you have any questions at this time from me or from Mr. Randy.
Does any of the committee members have any questions for?
Madam
Ms.
Chair,
Young?
I don't know if it's often that we see amendments in the other direction. Normally it's to add a cost, and so kudos to the staff and Line Decker and everybody involved, because the fire department.
Well, next item is to
Yeah.
spend the money, but
Right.
we'll wait for that.
Well, and that's the easy part. They could have redirected this money to
Sure,
something else, and they're
absolutely.
providing credit, so kudos to everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So I'll now entertain a motion to accept this.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, motion carries, and yes, it is really exciting to have a change order in the positive.
Credit occurring.
Credit,
Thank
yes.
you, yes.
And
It's
the-
not often, but thank you.
Discussion and possible action to recommend to the Board of Trustees approval amendment number 2 to the design-build contract with Line Decker Construction of Texas for Ricardo Molina Middle School to increase the contract guaranteed maximum price amount for landscaping improvements, including improvements to the football field playing surface. Yeah.
All right, Madam Chair, again, members of the Bond Oversight Committee, Mr. Superintendent Gonzalez, members of the audience. So now we bring to you this item, again, now that we have the recommendation to the board of accepting the credit and reducing the guaranteed maximum price in the amount of $139,150. So one of the things that the administration had been discussing since a few months ago is to go ahead and recommend a possible upgrade of the football field. We had not brought it forward because the funds were not available and we wanted to keep the same cost. Now that we are assured by the city fire department that we have those funds possibly available up to your consideration. So this new change order that we're proposing is to actually upgrade the type of Bermuda sod that we would use in the football field. Even though it's a practice field, so they do have games there often at the middle schools. So what it is in this particular example is the upgrade includes utilizing a different type of Bermuda. What we have in the contract, there is a field to be built as part of the guaranteed maximum price in the amount of about $60,000. But that includes a regular Bermuda grass that is used like in elementary schools. So at the time the project was awarded, we were looking through value engineering to keep the cost minimum, stay within the budget, and that was one of the reasons that we went with this type of, in the contract with this type of Bermuda sod. What we are recommending for your consideration is to upgrade the type of turf that we would use to a hybrid Bermuda grass. It's called a TIF Sport. If you all recall, like when we bid and built the ninth grade campuses, even also at Raúl Perales Middle School, that was one of the upgrades that we made on all those schools to utilize TIF Sport. This particular Bermuda has a lot better qualities as far as grounds maintenance and operation costs. It reduces it because it's a type of Bermuda that is a lot more resistant to heat, especially in this area and in the valley in South Texas. It's been very popular in athletic fields. It was developed also for golf courses as well as for football fields because it's very highly resistant to insects, to disease, and it's just a very, very strong type of Bermuda. It was developed for this particular purpose. And also, one of the things that we always have issues is the weed growing in all these fields. We use a lot of herbicides and maintain good fields for our students. And this particular Bermuda, that's why it was developed in the laboratories to be more resistant to weed growth. So it's a very strong high type. And we've experienced that. We experimented with this particular type of this sport ever since United High School was built. Then we tried it at Alexander football field, and we've been trying it at the high schools. Two of our high schools do have it at this time, and all of our ninth grade campus have it. And coaches, maintenance staff, they love it. It's very popular, like I said, in golf courses. Those who play golf, it's what typically you would see. So, of course, that is a higher, more expensive type of Bermuda turf. It requires better topsoil. As part of the specifications from the King Ranch, which is the grower, you have to analyze the soil that you have and bring in quality topsoil so that it can be guaranteed and it can really be effective. So it comes as part of the package. If you see the change order on the exhibit, there's a little explanation that Mr. Randy Hollis provided. I don't know, Randy, if you want to come up and explain a little bit. You're the Aggie architect that knows, and because I say that because this hybrid grass was developed by Texas A&M Engineering Extension Service. So go ahead. You got the right facing mask.
Well, yeah, you're right. Good timing. Thanks, Enrique. Just do want to say that part of this is that we're bringing in a specialized contractor that installs these fields. So the idea that we're going to get good quality assurance with the product, we're not relying on somebody that doesn't do it all the time. So that's a very important thing because of the specialization. Mr. Angel has talked about the actual source and the characteristics of the Bermuda itself. But the idea is that we're going to do an enhanced, to maintain that, it's going to be an enhanced irrigation system with stainless steel heads that are going to have long life. So the money is going to return itself when you consider the life of the whole system, and definitely to keep the quality of the playing surface up. And that's all an increase in the number of heads and the type from what is in the base contract. So the soil will have certain amendments that'll help it to grow and be green and dense and the type of qualities that you have for a surface like that. So I think it's a great product, and it's the kind of thing if you're going to be playing on a football field that you definitely, it's good money to have. I don't know if you want to go into the details of the change order. I can certainly. You want to do it? Well, okay. So the ad for that is $193,000. We're going to not consider the other one at the moment, but The idea is that we have already built in a landscape and irrigation allowance of $290,000. That's that little, if you see the small chart that's sort of isolated there in the middle of the page, that's talking about that allowance. What we're going to do to help pay for this is extract $60,000 out of that, apply it toward our new sport TIF field. That will leave an amount of $230,000, which will be sufficient to finish the rest of the landscaping that we need to do. So we've talked to Leyendecker about that. They say that we're going to be in good shape if we make this move. So you apply the $60,000. Now, when you do that, the total sum is now $133,071. That will be an add to the contract. That's in your bottom chart to the $21,790,896,000. The result is the contract cost would be $21,651,746, and that, when you also add back in the 133 that we're adding, reflects the savings from the storage tank, from the fire protection tank. And so your bottom line number now for the whole contract is $21,784,817.93, which is exactly, almost, not counting pennies, $6,079 credit to the whole project when we're said and done with these two change orders. So you actually have a savings to the project when we execute, if you decide to execute this in addition to the other.
Let me ask you a quick question. Topsoil. How much topsoil are you gonna need to substantiate the growth of this particular rooting system?
It should be.
In terms of inches?
Should be on the, there's a breakdown right there.
Okay.
So there's a breakdown from that. So enriched topsoil, 50% compost, 50% topsoil to achieve 4 inches of fill.
Okay. Yeah.
So they would scrape that out and then replace.
Sure.
Would this be the only middle school that has a TIF sport?
On the new middle school, Raúl Perales Middle School also has it. We went ahead and built that field, exactly the same specification, and we have it included already from day one in the new middle school, the third new middle school, Roberto Ramirez Middle School on the Aqueros subdivision. But that's already, since on that one we were able to put it from the beginning. So those will be the 3 middle schools that will have this in the new specification. And anything that we upgrade in the future, this is the type of field that, type of turf that we're planning on using. We do have it at the 4 Nitrate campuses. We have it at United High School, Alexander High School. We're working on a design to upgrade in the future, you know, depending on the availability of funds for United South High School and LBJ High School football fields. So we're working on that. But yes, to answer your question, the 3 middle schools would have it if this is approved.
Does anyone have any questions?
One more question.
Yes, sir.
I was noticing your price, $78.50 for your topsoil. Is that in line with your RS means?
Well, it's not specifically in RS means.
I don't know if it's specifically to that particular topsoil price. I do know that when they submitted the entire price, and we looked at it, it's consistent with the prices that we've been paying in the past. And it is within the overall price for RS meat, yes, it is. But I didn't check specifically every item, like the soil by itself, the sprinkler systems. I wouldn't be able, I would have to research.
I said, you know, that looks
Yeah, I would have to
pretty
research that.
pricey.
Yeah, now that does include, I believe.
And I realize it's a mix, you know,
Right.
but it still seems pricey.
We would have to check, Mr. Yarrell, and I can get back to you with that information on the RS means for the soil, unless you know that, Randy?
No, I don't know that number on the top of my head, but it's not exactly in RS means because
It's not gonna be, you're right,
the
because
way
it's,
it's amended
it's-
is.
I don't think
in
you're
the
gonna have it in
the
RS
mix.
means,
Yep.
truthfully. I was just kinda curious as to if this is in line with what you guys have been paying in the past, cause it, like I said, when I look at the price right now, it seems if you look at the numbers here, when I looked at them right now, it's more expensive than your grass, almost 2 times more expensive than your grass. So I said, wow, that's interesting.
Part of that would be, of course, rather than just a top dressing, it'll
The
be
long term.
I agree.
scraping, haul off,
Yeah.
bring it in, so there's some of that in this price also.
Okay, well, that,
And I do know, sir, like in the past, when we did Raul Perales, they had to bring that soil from Poteet, Texas.
yeah.
It has to meet the exact level of sand.
That.
It's
that
not available
explains-
locally.
That explains your price, because obviously
Yes.
you have a transportation cost right now, and it's gonna be factored into this. And obviously you're gonna have rough grading at a, yeah, but the transportation cost is gonna eat your lunch.
Yeah, I remember that when we checked on that, that was one of the reasons,
Okay.
price, that topsoil is not available here.
Yeah.
It has to meet the King Ranch specification.
Thanks.
The specs for that topsoil is a very special mixture, so they can give you a warranty,
Yeah, okay. What kind of warranty are they giving you on the grass?
5 years.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, but that's what we have to make, we have to prove to them that we upkeep it, maintain it the way they recommend it. Yes, especially in Laredo, yes, sir.
Very, very good. Okay, thank you.
Daylight today.
Yeah.
Any
It's
other
raining.
questions?
Does anybody else have any questions for Randy or Kika? Then if not, I'd like to entertain a motion.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second?
I guess I need to reread it, don't I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Money well
The
spent.
one- Yeah, but I'm looking for the,
The actual amount.
yeah, the actual number. Okay. So we're increasing the GMP by $133,071.93 for a total of 21,700,000. 784,817.93. God, I need better glasses or bigger font? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, we have the 2013 Bond Construction Program update. Mr. Alanis?
Yes. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the Bond Oversight Committee, Superintendent Gonzalez, and members of the audience. Ignacio Alanis, Director of Construction Management, presenting the Construction Project Summary Report as of August 2nd, 2021. Going on to the summary report, I'll be presenting on the 5 projects that you see listed, starting with the Roberto J. Santos Elementary School. Now, Roberto J. Santos Elementary School is 100% complete, and it's ready for opening this August 2021. In general, all the work has been completed. The ADA inspection, which is has also been completed. Building exterior signage and placking. Also, the exterior site work, all sidewalks and parking work is completed. Irrigation and landscaping and xeriscape work as well. We thought we'd go ahead and make this presentation on the building as it's equipped, fully equipped now, and ready for occupancy. So there is quite a few photos, but here we're starting with the main entrance. Equipped with many of the features that you've seen on other prototypes that we built, or similar prototypes.
As you said, August, what's the actual date? August
I guess 16 or
16th?
Yeah, 2 weeks from
First day of
today,
school.
where our kids are coming in, so.
so you like to scroll down the photos, you get to see some exterior views and their finishes. Again, with the site fully landscaped and irrigated. Some interior views, we have a security station, which we've incorporated into all our designs. Fully equipped. We had some interior signage. And some of the furnishings that you, as you walk into the main entrance. At the reception lobby. The check-in area. Got views to the corridor. These are some of the classrooms equipped with furnishings, including the IFP panel, all electrical technology installations.
Does anybody know how many kids are anticipated in the school?
I think, we have a projected enrollment of maybe close to 400, but I mean, the expectation of the growth is there,
Right.
especially to alleviate San Isidro as it grows more.
Mhm.
So, really this whole area over
Right.
here, and to hopefully help Colonel Santos a little bit more in the future, because they still have portables.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, as of right now.
Right.
Yes, we do,
It should hold like 800, 900 kids.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so,
And when all that killing
yeah, once they develop, yeah.
If I may, I just talked to it again. I know y'all, I don't think you've had an opportunity to see the campus, but you let us know. We want to do like a walkthrough over there with the staff administration. We would love to be with you all. Okay?
Yeah, that's a good idea. If we could hold the next meeting over there, we have,
Okay.
like we've done with some of the other schools. Thank you. Thank you for that suggestion.
I'm continuing with the photos. We do have some views of our science classrooms, multi-purpose room, computer labs. We have a library with its finishes. The cafeteria with its,
If I may ask, did they set up the classrooms for business as usual?
yes,
Starting on,
yes, all classrooms have been equipped and furnished, yes.
that's fantastic.
Mhm.
That's good news.
Got some interior views here of the cafeteria, the serving line, the kitchen and its equipment.
I want that pantry.
The workroom, counselor's office, or room. Views of the break room, with its appliances, administration. Principal's office, we have some views of the gymnasium,
Some of us have very fond memories of the principal's officer.
right?
Appreciate that.
There you go. Especially the little hallway right outside of it, right?
Not the pantry.
Yeah. And the final views of the gymnasium and playground areas. So we're happy to report that this project has been successfully completed. Yes, thank you. Going on to the second project, we have Ricardo Molina Middle School. This project is at 65% completion. Substantial completion date is December 15th, 2021. And reading the progress report, we have the site work. Overall, the site is being maintained, proper condition. Testing agency has been on site on a weekly basis, conducting materials testing, soils testing, as construction continues. Work is ongoing for final grading of the parking lot areas. In areas A, we have the exterior brick veneer being installed on the second floor, the classroom wings, Floor preparation and installation of VCT at typical classrooms and science rooms. Area D, we have the brick veneer being installed in classroom wing and mechanical work being installed in classroom wing as well. And here we have some aerial views. By the way, this, the design for this campus is from Randy Hollis and the Munoz and Company. They're the project architects of record for this project. If you have any other questions, I guess Randy can step up.
Since this school is scheduled to open mid-year, is there plans to open it, or just wait till the
Yeah, no,
fall of
we'll open
22?
it August of 2022. Just it'll be, it'll be completed by December, and we'll start switching
Yeah.
over, furnishing it, and
Of course, weather permitting, we've been having some pretty crazy weather days,
Yeah.
and making it a little hard to work the site sometimes, but they're working around it.
yeah, it's really hard for us to open a school in the middle of the year.
Yeah, I know.
It's- Doesn't work out too well for us.
Okay, we'll just continue with the photos. There are some interior views of some of the classroom areas and some of the mechanical ductwork material and equipment being stored and installed throughout the building. All right, the third project we have to report on is the demolition of the former Salinas Elementary School project. That one is at 70% completion, and the substantial completion date September 30th. So we're approximately 2 months away from completing this project. The structure of the original school building and addition has been demolished. Demolition of the existing slab is underway and approximately 50% completion. Exterior work, some demolition has begun, minor site demolition work continues. But material continues to be hauled off on pretty much on a daily basis. So that project is going on, it's on schedule. Fourth project we have to report on is erosion control and restoration at Washington Middle School. This project is approximately 80% complete, and there have been days approved for extension, being that it is in a major creek, probably the biggest creek in Laredo. They've had a very difficult time and very challenging time trying to work around those conditions, but they have made significant progress. They have finished pretty much the top section, which is immediately behind Washington Middle, and some portables actually that we have up there. So they'll be closing that section off to protect the students, and we'll be working now from the bottom of the channel. But
I think they've had a lot of challenges with the rain they've had up in that area.
definitely.
How much of their work, did they lose any work?
They have lost some work. There has been a lot of retesting as well. And, you know, just when they make some progress, you know, we get a rain like we're getting,
Oh, that's
and it could set us back a few days. But they have been making strides, and it's looking very good. As you can see, the scale of this project is really something unusual. But we're almost there. They're pushing to complete this, hopefully within the next 2 weeks. Yeah, yeah, we're pushing them hard. Now, the consultants, we asked them to take photos, so you can go back to that photo, that last photo, is just to give you a little bit more of a scale and the size of the structure that we had to design and build there. And that's at the bottom of that creek, so that's how wide it is.
It's
Okay.
huge. It's a huge creek.
And the final project we have to report on is the Juan Roberto Ramirez Middle School. This project, well, I guess this is. Looks like controls. This looks like technology. Okay.
This one here says access control upgrades.
Okay. Well, the Juan Roberto Ramirez project is underway. They've already started clearing the site. And right now it's really clearing and grubbing, basically. And they'll be establishing the four corners of the site. What this is off of Vaqueros Boulevard in the Vaqueros subdivision. We did get permits to clear, so it's underway. Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Madam President, members of the board, Mr. Gonzalez, Ms. Benavides. My name is Hector Perez. I'm the Executive Director of Information Technology. And I just wanted to give you an update of where we're at on a project where we're upgrading our access controls. What happened is last year, right before the pandemic, we did safety audits throughout the district mandated by Governor Abbott. And one of the things that we were finding out is most of the back doors were being left unlocked because they needed to allow the kids to come in from the portables, so the kids to come from the outside. So that was a big no-no. So how do we solve that? One of the ways that we're doing is installing access controls so that they can notify. It's kind of like the one you see at the front when you go into a school and they see you on a camera. We're able to put one in the back so that, because what some of the teachers were doing, they were lending their ID cards to the kids to be able to go into the building. Then they'll say, well, I mean, they have bacteria and all that. So in order to avoid all that, we went ahead and did it in 3 phases. Phase 1 and 2, we were able to use some of the monies that Mr. Rangel didn't use from a safety grant from those bulletproof glass. These contingency funds, he gave them to us, so we used them to do about 43 doors in different campuses. And then the last phase, we used the money, we still have money under the access controls. The money through the bond was determined for that. We did about 578 doors district-wide when the taxpayers approved that. That's a lot of doors. If you can imagine the complications of that. If you can go back to the other slides, Mike, so I can mention the well, I wanted to show that because, let's show the computer room. That's one of our computer rooms. Everything, all the mechanisms, all the electronics that we do for these doors, they're housed in our computer rooms. Why the computer rooms? Computer rooms, it's a controlled environment. It has its own power, directly. So you're not worrying about, like right now, we're about to lose power and the access control doesn't work. Everything comes from the computer room on a controlled environment. So these are some of the campuses that we were able to include on phase 3. It's a total of 15 schools. Like LBJ gets 2 doors because it's a much bigger high school. And keep on going, it's a total of 15 campuses. And those are the campuses. And at the end, I want to show you the device, what it looks like. This is what you see. This device has 2 components. The top one is a camera. We actually push that white button, and we have it connected to our phones. So when you have a video phone, the clerks can see who is at the door, and they push like a *3 or a #3, and it automatically allows you to come in. The bottom part is the reader. So if you have your ID or your card, and you're allowed to come into the campus, you can scan it, and you can come in. The beauty of this system is that we can program it. It only functions from 8 to 7 p.m., for example. So if you have a coach that wants to come in on Saturday to, play basketball or whatever, and the principal doesn't approve it, they can't go in. The principal can from remotely to go in on Saturday, go in on Sunday. They have the authority to do those kind of things. This project was included. This is a digital system. When we budgeted back in 2013, Mr. Rangel was working on an analog system, so only $1 million was allocated for this project. I know it sounds like a lot. It's not a lot because everything's so expensive nowadays. But what we did, we combined that with our $4.7 million for the surveillance. So we matched those 2, and we were able to go a long way. And what we did is we integrated this system with our surveillance camera. So when you come in, the camera takes a picture of you. Okay, so we can sync who came in, who scanned the card, and your face. So you can say, I wasn't at that campus. Right now, we have everything pre-cable. However, some equipment is back order. As you know, the pandemic has caused a lot of problems on the technology business. We're about a month away from completing this project, but it's already pre-cable, it's ready to go. As soon as we get these devices, we will have the system up and running, and we're gonna be in much better shape. I mean, 43 campuses already have their doors installed. We just need to work on these ones and we'll be fine. Thank you for supporting us. What you've done has been great. On the technology side, we've been doing very well with the IFPs, with this, I mean, with everything that you've been able to approve. Thank you for your support. I just wanted to give you an up-to-date.
Thank you.
In a month, we should be ready.
Did
you have
you
any-
say analog, and when we started with this committee, we were looking at analog?
Yes, yes.
Because now it doesn't exist anymore,
No,
correct?
that was back in 2012 when we took it to the voters. It was an analog system. We have been upgrading analog cameras to digital cameras, or analog readers to digital. Everything is digital. I mean, a lot safer, a lot more secure. You can do a lot on the programming that you couldn't do on the analog systems before. So we have a pretty good system in place.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you very much.
The bond program financial report.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the committee, members of the audience. Sam Flores, I'm the comptroller for UISD. I'm acting interim assistant superintendent as well. We're coming really close to the end of our bond programs, at least our construction projects that are underway. If you remember, we initially went out to the voters for $408 million. We've already encumbered and expended $383 million. And it shows that we're at about just under 94% already encumbered or expended. Since the last time that we met, the only major project that happened was you all approved the GMP for Juan Roberto Ramirez Middle School, and we've issued the PO, and that's kind of what has changed the numbers on this report since the last time that we met. The other things that we were doing in the meantime was looking at all of our open purchase orders. There are commitments that we have made on certain projects. We sat with all the individual leaders that are handling the bond funds, and we went through PO by PO, and we've closed out a lot of minor little POs. So we've kind of cleaned up the report now that we're getting to the end of these projects. And that's kind of like all that we have right now at this point in time, and the balance that you see there is unencumbered and available. I don't know if anybody has any questions over the report at this time.
So just to tell the Bond Oversight Committee, we are probably going to propose a penny increase to our IMS tax rate. However, we're still about maybe 5 cents below what we told our bondholders we would get to. I think we told them we would increase the tax rate almost 13 cents, and we've been like at 8, we're like at 8 cents. But what we're seeing in our in our debt schedule is in about 2 years, our debt payments will go down substantially, especially if we don't have another bond program. But we'll see. I mean, we have a lot of needs, and we do need to finalize this program. We will be meeting with the board members. We do have 2 replacement campuses that need to be discussed with them, and just letting Mr. Gonzalez settle in. And it was kind of tough last year to talk about replacement campuses when everything that we were facing. But I think, you know, now getting back hopefully to as normal as possible, that we can start addressing those 2 projects so that we can see what our needs are. I mean, our needs change over a 7-year period, so but we'll keep you up to date.
What campuses were those?
It was to replace the Salinas Elementary, which Mr. Ignacio Alanis showed where we demolished it, but we did build a new Salinas Elementary. In fact, we named it already Salinas Elementary. You know, we're looking at our enrollment data. Our enrollment has slowed down, so maybe it's the possibility of not to replace that building. And then the other replacement is of Clark Elementary, which also we're looking at the enrollment of this area. I hope that's not
I don't know. It seems like it might be coming in. We'll probably put central office on the next bond issue.
Replacement of?
A roof repair,
An indoor garage or something.
Well, thank you all very much. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, so just to bring you up to date in our finances, and we're gonna do a refunding to keep our tax rate down, so just to let you know where we're at.
Laida, so I'm looking at this here, and, let's see, $387 million has been expensed or encumbered out of the 408.7, which is now 413. did we sell the difference of those bonds, or is that why you haven't hit the 13-cent tax increase?
No, we've sold everything.
You've sold
Yeah,
everything?
what helped us was the market,
The market,
right?
yeah.
And our tax value growth, we were conservative on what we thought our growth would be. So that's helped a lot. So that's helped us keep the tax rate a little lower than what we thought we were gonna be at.
And everything that has been sold obviously has been earmarked to be used.
Earmarked to these projects, yeah.
And I apologize, Lalo, the difference between that 408 and the 413 then is the interest that we've earned over
Right.
the life of the bond, so it's 4.9, almost $5 million.
Cool. Very nice. And again, I know I mention it all the time, but I like this here because it's available on the website and it's super transparent and straightforward, really, to the taxpayers.
Right, easy to read.
Absolutely.
We'll continue to update it.
Well, somehow Orlando always has a hard time reading. Exactly.
You know.
Well, I think he's gonna be a lot more busy now, he's not gonna be looking at things now, he's got his hands.
How are the contractors
Like
doing
he
it?
wasn't here today.
He's at a city
I'm
council.
sorry,
meeting.
Mr. Rodriguez.
How are the contractors doing it to keep their prices when all the materials being?
Well, I mean, that was the benefit of having the guaranteed maximum price on the projects that have been awarded, which, you know, all the major campuses, we were fortunate to get all those already nailed down, so. But they are having a hard time with their subcontractors, but they have to guarantee it to us. So it just was at the right time. Madam Chair, I wanted to take an opportunity, if I may, just at this time I wanted to introduce our new member of our facilities team. Mr. Alfonso Peña has joined the district. He's the new Director of Maintenance and Operations.
Welcome.
He's an architect, 15 years experience working with Robert Sepulveda Architects locally, and you know, he was in charge of many major projects like this fire department here, fire station here on Del Mar Boulevard, very beautiful campus facility. And also, he was working at Laredo Community College, Laredo College, building all their facilities.
Laredo Junior College.
That's what I call when I went to LJC. So, yeah, and also many campuses at LIZ. I think you oversaw the Lamar Middle School, Nixon High School, and so he's the New Cigarron High School. So he's brought a lot of experience to the district. We're very fortunate that he joined. Mr. Leroy Gutierrez retired for the third time, so he's already gone. He just calls us once in a while. He's from Oklahoma and the casinos, Las Vegas. But Mr. Peña has joined, and we welcome him to our team. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome. Open agenda, is there anything anybody would like to bring forth to be discussed? Okay, then, do we have a date for next committee meeting, or Mr. Rangel, what are you thinking? Liza?
I think the next one, yeah, probably a couple of months because we're waiting to settle the issue with the Aquero Boulevard. So that would be something we bring to the board, I mean, to the advisory committee. So it probably won't be ready for next month, right, Mr. Angel? There's an issue.
We're looking like October probably.
October maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we can meet
And you want
at
to
Santos.
hold it at?
At Santos, that would be nice, yes, please. Yes, thank you.
You can bring the rain again.
Thank you for that suggestion. Well, then it is 6:51, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much for your
Thank you.
attendance.
Thank you.